Hello friends and adventurers, today we'll be journeying through one of the most mechanically complex mods ever made for Gothic 2, aka Gothic New Balance. New Balance is a full conversion mod that delivers more dynamic combat, new classes, mechanics, and a fully customizable experience. As the title implies, expect an entirely new game with a different pacing, but I'm gonna say it outright, the meat of the game is the combat and how it's been overhauled. In one sentence, it's fast, fun, and sometimes brutal. Russian-style difficulty, but with Western customization attached. The main developer is Liker, but New Balance has been worked on by a ton of people. We also have to give a shout out to Damien Nutt, who has been heavily involved in the Gothic community, but there's other names who have worked on this campaign. One of the best ways to describe New Balance is that it's the evolved form of Gothic returning combined with other mods. New Balance borrows mechanics from Liver, Returning, Gassoon, Lobos, and other places with the goal of creating an epic grand adventure. Now, did it deliver? Let's find out.
Он победил спящего и уничтожил барьер. Но когда остальные...
Yeah, okay, so the base game is in Russian, but we also have an English AI dub for the entire game. Wait, don't leave yet. Hear me out. Yeah, I know it's AI, but honestly, this is what AI was meant for, to help creators to reach multiple audiences. So, how's the AI?
The longer you keep me with your talks, the less time we have to counter the threat of dragons.
Your confidence both pleases and scares me at the same time. I hope you properly assess your strength, as your death will doom all the inhabitants of this island to perish.
It's hit and miss, to be honest. Sometimes it delivers these powerful lines with a lot of emotion behind them.
If you really want to,
Dude.
you can fight me. But it won't make the world better as you expect, for only in life can new life arise, not in death. Have you seen many dragons in your life, human, to reason like that?
Other times it just gives up and speaks in nonsensical sentences.
And on one of the killers suggests otherwise.
If that's the case, then we are all in great danger.
But fortunately, the moments where the AI kicks the bucket are pretty rare, and sometimes it's just comedy gold.
I understand what you're getting at, dude.
Now right off the bat, we get a ton of options to customize our experience, from simple stuff like difficulty sliders to how you want to gain skills. There's an optional survival mode where the character needs to drink, sleep, and eat. So the gameplay experience is really how you want it to be. Do whatever makes you happy. Once that is done, we load in and Zardas greets us as usual. I want to note here that there is a few journal entries on how to handle New Balance. From the ton of secrets, bosses, to all the classes we can play. The mod is still being updated even today, and last I checked there were around 16 classes or more to choose from. Each class gives you a different questline, a faction, interactions, and various outcomes throughout the game. You can play as a druid, as a templar, death knight, summoner, demon hunter. The choices are rich. New Balance can feel like a daunting mod at first. You get so many classes, skills, mechanics, tutorials, and content. So let's ease in. Choosing a class is something that we can do later, but there is a bunch of options depending on your desired playstyle. From what I read and experimented, you really can't go wrong since it mostly depends on what's fun for you. Skill-wise, we get our basic combat skills plus a ton of other options that vary depending on the class you choose. For example, if we choose the Demon Hunter class, we'll later get the option to craft specialized ammunition like explosive bolts, get a protective ablative shield, and also do roly-polies. A few mechanics from Liver pop up as well, such as the sprint option and the free aim mod for archers and mages. Sprinting requires stamina. Actually, most things in the game require stamina, including attacking and blocking. It's fairly easy to skill up, and there's also a bunch of items to help you with that. Content-wise, the core game is similar to Gothic 2, so 99% of the story is the same. You still go to the Valley of Mines, you will fight dragons and a dragon boss at the end. The major thing that they changed is the Raven boss fight, which has its own separate questline and is a veritable challenge this time. On top of the base maps from Gothic to Gold, we have around 10 extra maps added. We got new locations such as the western part of the island, the Valley of Shadows, Fort Asgon, the Ice Valley of the Orcs, which, by the way, is actually the desert map from Legend of Asun, reskinned in winter style. It actually made me wonder just how big Vetrinus got, since it feels almost like its own continent now. The early game is just fantastic. You want to buy 100 different little upgrades, from trophies you can equip, to armor pieces, to stamina potions so you can sprint everywhere. We get to the city and we're dirt poor. Fortunately, there's a new cooking system. We have some plants and we'll use 1,000,000 potions, and thus we get introduced to the improved alchemy system. I need to mention that everything got scaled up by a factor of 1,000. If, for example, in Gothic 2 you got maybe 20,000 gold or 40k by the end of the game, you can easily earn 1,000,000 gold pieces in this mod. On the plus side, the game constantly bombards you with stuff to buy. Potions, armors, ingredients, and of course, shrines have an added mechanic where you can trade gold for karma, and karma can be traded for some abilities and buffs. So you will never be in a situation where gold isn't valuable. In addition to that, stats have also been scaled up. Don't be surprised if you hit something like 4,000 hit points, or as a mage over 1,000 mana. Speaking of magic, it has some new mechanics. Besides the free aim, there's an intelligence stat in the game now. It does two things primarily. It scales the damage of your spells, but also certain magical buffs. For example, if you choose to be a demon hunter, one of the abilities the hunter has is a damage absorption shield. It starts off pretty weak, but the shield regenerates over time. It gets stronger the higher you increase your intelligence, so that's the trick to it. As for the story, it has a lot of plots for every map it adds. You got an ice map with orc baddies, and a cursed land with a dragon boss, an island that references the Lost Show, some Bruce Campbell references like the Necronomicon, and an extended plot regarding the Valley of the Ancients. I'm not gonna cover every plot in the mod or every individual map, but 3 things stood out for me. The first is that on the eastern part of Vetrinus, we meet Scar, aka Marvin from Arkelos. He even references events from his past life like the Beast of Arkelos questline. So Arkelos is now canon in New Balance. Awesome. Eventually, he opens up an arena in the area for the outcasts of the former prison colony. The arena fights are the most challenging ones in the game, but also the most rewarding. You got enemies with special animations, fast attack speeds, they teleport, they heal up, summon enemies, area of effects damage, spikes, boulders, missiles, the whole shebang. If you wanna test out your combat metal, Marvin's Arena is the place for you. The second interesting thing in the mod is Raven's Nightmare. The Raven boss fight from Gothic 2 got an entirely different approach, and you end up fighting him several times, including entering a demonic realm to face him. It's a very challenging area, and you are even given warnings on what stats you ideally need to face him. And the third thing, and the best one, is we can get a puppy. This is the best addition in Gothic in my opinion. Her name is Gina, and you can get her pretty early on in the game. If we travel to the hunter's camp near Onar's farm, we are sent to find a missing hunter. Upon finding him, we run into his wolf pup companion, a scared little thing that doesn't want to leave his side. With a bit of effort and some food, we get the best companion in the game. She starts out as level 1, but for every experience point we get in combat, she gets the same, so Gina levels up with the main character. At later levels, she becomes a wonderful sidekick. It gets even better, Gina cannot permanently die. If she falls in combat, you can just resummon her. If you run too far ahead of her or she lags behind, there's a script that teleports her to the hero's position so that she never really leaves your side. If that's not enough, you can further upgrade her into a fully clawed demon wolf capable of handling entire armies of orcs by herself. In my playthrough, my girlfriend also lent her voice to some lines for Gina. Poor Gina.
Feel free to help out, Scrub. Time to neuter this orc. Say goodbye to your green balls. More treats and more scratches and more bones. I want weekends off too. Sad off, you stinking pile of bones. More lambs to the slaughter. I am pondering some orbs today. Initiates pondering. After I'm done, they'll rename this place to Valley of Gina. Woof. I need a break. I'm going to be a badass pup. Ow!
For me at least, Gina was a lot of fun to have as a companion. She can distract enemies in a pinch, and the only issue is that in boss fights or arena challenges, the game desummons her, so you can't benefit from her help. On top of that, you can later on get an entire wolf pack with the warg or wolf summoning, so Gina has some backup. Wolf pack awesomeness. We also get a romance option with a mysterious woman called Loa. I am not sure, but I am betting my gold she is a reference to Legend of Asun. Other than a romance quest that culminates in a romantic evening at the lighthouse, doesn't really lead anywhere, but it's a nice addition. My playthrough I chose the Demon Hunter route and honestly had no regrets. As a class, it's geared towards doing roly-polies and having a cool crossbow. Sadly, we do not get a Van Helsing hat to go with it. But what can you do? Combat is fun. You got Gina distracting enemies while you pick them off from a distance. There's also the Will-o'-the-Wisp that can be trained to pick up items while you are busy in combat, so the entire fighting experience is neat as heck. At one point, I even started fighting in combat using the 3x speed multiplier to test my own reflexes. So if you want a fast-paced, survival-oriented, high-difficulty adventure, go New Balance. It's a solid mod, it has some real programming talent behind it. Installing the mod is pretty straightforward. Just go to mertana.net, follow the steps, and add in the English AI if you want to skip the Russian voice acting. The mod pretty much goes crazy on giving you as many options to toy around with. You can even build your own camp, supply it with food, hire miners and hunters, and have a decent income as a result. Towards the end, it's the same boss fight as in Gothic 2, you fight the undead dragon and sail forth to new adventures. As for the story, it has too many plots to cover. The writing ranges from mediocre to quite good in certain quest lines. I mean, we get a quest to save the soul of Gomez, who is cursed to roam the old castle after killing the fire mages in Gothic 1. And then we get weird stuff like multiple evil baddies trying to take over the world at once. We get to fight a demon who is apparently more powerful than the Sleeper, and then a dragon who is more powerful than any winged fire-breathing beastie. And then a fiery part of the island where near godlike creatures live? The mod is all over the place, but if you play it just for fun and combat, you're gonna be happy. Mechanics wise, this is just a taste of what's in store for you. I guess the developers went the route of let's just cram everything that has ever been modded for Gothic 2 into one big mod and see what happens. Well, what happened is an almost 200-hour fun adventure. Playing the balance for the combat, the mechanics, the awesome tools it gives you, and you can skip most of the story without issues. For me at least, it didn't leave any lasting impression. The most fun I had was just wandering around the island with my pet white wolf badass and dispensing beatdowns to gods and mortals alike. You can't buy that kind of fun. If combat is the meat in New Balance, the story is just a salad dressing. It doesn't add much, but it's there for flavor. And Gina, the wolf pup, is the portion of fries to complement that meal. Great, now I'm hungry. Gonna go grab a burger. Thank you friends and adventurers, and if you're curious to try out New Balance, let me know how other classes feel like. Till next we meet, stay badass, and as always,
The greatest story in the world is your football.
good girl, Gina.